Morning, folks. In my first video review of the Big Cat brand of e-bikes, I did kind of an overview of, what led me to buying e-bikes, specifically the Beach Cruiser and the Fat Cat, Big Cat bike. And I kind of went over some of the details about the bikes. And in that video, I also covered what I was figuring the battery, how long it would last in terms of mileage. And it was really kind of a guesstimate. Using pedal assist versus using just strictly the throttle. So I decided, I'm going to do a video on how long the battery or how many miles the battery will last just by using the throttle. So this morning, which is October 14th, it's about 5 a.m. in the morning right at the moment, I'm going to get things set up and actually take you folks for a ride on my Fat Cat using just strictly throttle to see how long the battery will last. And I'm also going to bring along the battery from my wife's Beach Cruiser, so then that way I'll have battery to get back. So I'm going to take you along for a ride with me, and probably what I'll do is I'll do video capturing in increments, so that way you don't have to, see the whole ride, because it could be fairly lengthy. So I'll meet you folks outdoors once I get everything all set up. Okay, folks, I'm all ready to roll here, and what I'm going to do also too is because the headlight to the Big Cat bikes runs off the battery, so I'm going to also too run that continuously throughout the trip, and also too just take a look and bear in mind that I probably have, I'm going to say, roughly 50 extra pounds of weight on the bike. So you also have to kind of figure that into the equation in terms of mileage, how much we get for mileage. So you can take a look here. Move this out of the way. I've got, I don't know if the lighting's really that great out here, but I got the saddlebags. I got stuff in the saddlebags, a water bottle, my Bible, and because I'm going to also too go out and visit my mom at the same time, ride out to her town. And what else do I got in there? Because I got a first aid kit, stuff that I normally carry, like if we're doing the rail trails. I'm also carrying the battery from my wife's Beach Cruiser, spare battery. And I've got, of course, a couple of batteries that power my cell phone as well as the camera here. So, so like I say, I probably easily add an extra 50 pounds. And let me see. Well, the other thing I want to cover too, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Let's make sure I don't get into the shadow there. Let's see here if I can get. That's got the light on it. I think you can see the mileage there. I'm at 241.3. 241.3. So right now I got in level assist 1, but like I say, what I'm going to do is use the battery only or the throttle only, just to see what I get for mileage, out of the battery itself. So anyways, so ready to roll here. It's let me see, it's probably close to just about 6:30. The sun's just coming up, a little overcast right at the moment, and so we'll see how it all goes. And I'll put my camera on the chest mount here, and there's my 2007 Road King. Definitely a lot of fun driving that. completely different than driving one of these. So anyways, I'll chat with you folks in a moment here. Okay folks, here we go. Get the light on, and it's like I say, the sun's just starting to come up, and hopefully the wind noise won't be too bad. Let me adjust the camera here so you can see the display. And I got it in battery mode, and pretty much full power I got right at the moment. And we're going to take a ride. Like I say, hopefully the wind noise won't be too severe. And we're at 241.3. And what I'm going to do is I'll do this in increments, so that way you won't have to ride along the whole thing with me. Yeah, let's adjust the camera a little bit more here. We'll see how many miles the Fat Cat bike battery will actually last. Yeah, we're at I'm right on full throttle, and I'm hitting 18 miles an hour on the flat here. And so what I'll do is I'll stop it at this point and continue on, and then I'll catch up with you in a moment. Okay folks, so far I've been, let's see, I'm at 243.3. I've been 2 miles. I'm showing that I've got 2 bars in the battery, and that's pretty much all on the flat. So now I'm starting to actually do a little downhill here, so that'll give the battery a rest. And pretty much coasting at this point. And also too, bear in mind that I've got the fat tires and I don't have a lot of pressure on them, so I'm getting some resistance with the tires as well, which slows me down a bit. Battery is lost 1 bar so far, because I haven't really exercised these batteries either, so that may be also a factor. Bit of an uphill here. Got it at full power, down to 13 miles an hour, 14 miles an hour. And it wasn't a real steep grade, but it was, pretty much rural roads. I'm out here in the back roads on the coast of Maine, and it is holding about 13 miles an hour up that hill. Not too bad. And I'm at full power, hitting about 19 miles an hour. And I got about half a battery showing. Like I say, I haven't exercised these batteries a lot, so I'll be back with you in a moment. We're at 243.8 so far. Okay, here I'm heading up a fairly steep hill. I've got to give it a little assistance. Get up this hill here. I wouldn't know what kind of grade it is, but it's fairly steep. I'm in 7th gear, giving a little bit of assistance to get up over the hill. Okay, at that point I stopped. Now we're headed back down. Be back with you in a moment. Okay, I was on the flat there after that hill back there, and it was starting up another hill here, so yeah, pretty much at this point, yeah, I've got to give it some assistance. I'm in 7th gear, the big cat, Fat Cat. Yeah, I'm putting some effort into it to get up over this hill. I got it full throttle. I've got, it's not like it's overwhelming in 7th gear. I'm starting to gain a little bit because I'm getting closer to the top of the hill. So, battery's down to 1 bar. At this point, I'm at 244.8. Okay, we're at the top of the hill. I'll stop pedaling. A little bit of a flat here. And you can see another hill coming up. Another small hill. 1 bar on the battery. Running at about 16 miles an hour. $14, $13. Let's see if it actually gets up over this hill. 12 miles an hour. At the top of the hill. Yeah, I did pretty good on that one. Alright, we're headed back downhill. We'll be going across another flat, and there'll be another big hill coming up. We'll be back in okay, we went across the pretty long flat section there. We're at 245.6. Starting up now, pretty steep hill here. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm at 12 miles an hour. I'm going to give it some assistance. Get up over this hill here. See what it will do in terms of how much I've got to put into it. You can see, I don't know if you can see it at this point, but coming around this corner, it gets pretty steep. I'm going to give it no assistance rate at this spot here. But now you can see here this hill, definitely going to put some effort into it. Yeah, definitely putting some effort into it, but only for a little bit there, so that's not too bad. I've got it at full throttle still. It's flattening out. Stop pedaling. Alright, now there's a downhill, so I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so we've had a bit of a flat stretch there after that big hill. Starting up another hill here. We're at 247.0. Going to give it some assistance to get up over this one. Yeah, battery went down to 1 bar. I've been averaging a speed of about probably 15 miles an hour. Yeah, get up over that hill no problem. 7th gear. Here we go. It's picking up. And it's holding its own pretty good, so not doing bad. I can feel it picking up speed. Yeah, we're at 15, coming up on a flat section here. So it seems to be doing very well. What are we at now? We're at 247.2. Almost 0.3, so and it's showing, oh, just popped up a bar, so we had 2 bars there. And I don't know if you can actually see yeah, I guess you can see the display pretty good, so hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. So I'll be back with you folks in a bit. Okay, that hill that I just went up, I used just the battery because I came down a fairly big hill and then up another side, so that wasn't too bad. I didn't use any pedal assist at that point, or I didn't pedal along with it. Here we are on a flat section. And let's see if we can actually get up over this little bit of a hill here. without pedaling to help out. Yeah, so it's got pretty good torque even at low speeds, and with a battery that I've probably used about half the battery at this point. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head down this particular road. You can probably see the signs there. We'll go down this road here and then back up around. What are we at now for mileage? We are at 248.6. I have assisted a little bit in a couple of hills there, but still pretty much all throttle. Okay, so we're at 249.1. So the battery seems to be holding pretty good. I'm down at 1 bar, but it kind of fluctuates up and down a bit there, so as I'm not putting any strain on it, going down hills, it bounces back up to about half a battery so far. So now we're at 249.2, headed down this road here. Bit of a hill coming up. Let's see how it does going up this one here. Yeah, 14 miles an hour, 13 point. Yep, picking right back up again. So it's doing pretty good. Be back in a bit. Okay, folks, I'm going to take a turn here, and we're going to be going on some gravel. Riding on some gravel here. Gravel road, going to be a little bumpy. And the battery seems to be holding up pretty good down here on the coast of Maine. We've got a little glimpse of the water off in the distance. And right now I'm coasting. I've got about a half a battery. Yeah, it's showing 2 bars there. Not using any throttle at this point. Just coasting along here on the dirt. Alright, we'll pop the throttle back on full. Holding at 16 miles an hour. Let me give you a view of the little bit of water there. A little bit of the coast here for you folks. Yeah, probably kind of bumpy there, but coming across a little bridge. And bear in mind, I'm still running the headlight. The headlight runs off the bicycle battery. I'll be back with you in a bit. Okay. Still cruising along here, 17 miles an hour across the dirt road. Seems to be doing good. And we're coming into past the campground here. Still showing only one bar on the battery, but boy, it's holding up very well. We're at 250.9, so doing very well actually. And I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I'm starting to notice that the battery is showing at needs to be recharged, but I still got plenty of oomph in it. So now we're coming off the dirt road, not using any throttle at this point, just coasting along. Yeah, here we go, back onto the road. Yeah, battery still seems to have pretty good oomph to it, even though it at full throttle it kind of goes down to a point where it shows the battery needs to be recharged. We're at let's see, 251.6. And again, bear in mind, folks, I've got probably another 50 pounds on the bike with the extra battery. Oh, there we go. We got some wildlife coming up here. Hopefully we'll get a view of it. We had a deer crossing the road. And let's see if we see the deer in here. No, it's already taken off. Oh, wait a minute. There they are, right there. They're in the woods. I don't know if you can see them. Let me see if I can get close enough. Oh, there they go. Yeah, I scared them. Sorry about that, folks. All right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, keep on motoring here. Still got quite a bit of oomph on the battery. Very surprising. I'm at 251.8 at this point. So I'll be back with you in a bit again. Okay, so going on a little bit of a hill here, but not a real steep hill. Went across the flat. Battery is starting to flash more often than it needs to be charged, but still giving me plenty of power, even going up over this little bit of a hill here. So this has been a good test. Because like I was saying in my previous, or my very first video, that most of the time we've been on just flat surfaces, except for one particular trail that we went on, nature trail in Franconia, which had some pretty steep hills. Definitely wasn't something that my wife enjoyed all that much. And I had a tough time up a couple of those hills, so running downhill here. I noticed that when I'm using throttle, when you're going down a hill, you start getting above 20 miles an hour, 19 miles an hour, there's no more power being put to the motor, so it doesn't go any higher. So the motor doesn't kick back in until you get below, I'm going to say about 18 miles an hour, then it kicks back in to keep your motoring along. I noticed the average speed is about 17 to 17.5 miles an hour with full throttle. I'm sure with a fully charged battery it would bring it right up to 20, no problem. So going down a hill here. Plus I'm on a road here that doesn't really have any place for bicycles, so I'm trying to keep an eye in the mirror too. Same time, watching for vehicles coming up behind me. So far, again, just one bar on the battery, but it seems to be holding its own. Starting to, more often it's starting to flash that it needs a recharge. So I've got a car coming up, so I'll be back in a bit. Okay, hitting a pretty good hill here, pretty steep. I'm not going to give it any assistance. Let's see, even with a very low battery. Yeah, it kept me at about 7 miles an hour. Yeah, starting to pick back up, hitting the top of the hill. Not too bad for a battery that's down to flashing, needing a recharge. Yeah, hitting a little bit of a flat spot here. And also too, a little bit of a downhill. Battery still flashing, needing to be recharged. Nope, now we're back to 1 bar. Miles an hour. 1 flash. Oh, now we're back to batteries flashing, needing a recharge. We're at, let me see, 254.5. So what have I been now? I've been 14 miles, I think that's what it is. Is that correct? No, 13. Yeah, been just a little over 13 miles, and pretty much all throttle. There's only been a couple of hills where I've assisted the bike getting up over the hill. They were pretty steep too, so not bad at all. I'm actually very pleased with how this is doing so far. I've got a good downhill here. And then beyond this downhill, we've got a little bit of a steep hill, short, but fairly steep. I'm going to see what happens coming up to this one here. See if it will actually motor me up over the hill without assisting it. With a almost, I think, pretty much dead battery. Or, well, close to it anyways. Let's see what this does. Down to 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, I'm going to have to assist it. 5. Giving it some assistance. I'm in gear 7. Yeah, got it up over the hill. I can still feel it putting power to the motor. So, it's pretty much, I'm going to say that I've really pretty much gotten to that point where I've used it up, but I'm going to continue and see just how far I can push it. Be back in a bit. Okay, at this point, folks, battery's flashing most of the time. I notice that I'm not getting the oomph that I was getting at first. A little bit of farmland here, some cows, but. Yeah, now I'm at full throttle, and yeah, it's still driving me along on the flat here at 16 miles an hour. Got a bit of a hill coming up here, so let's see what it does with this particular hill. Now we're at 15. We're at 255.5. So I think I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to definitely have to assist it going up this hill. So I'm in 7th gear again. Give it some assistance. I can feel that I'm not getting much help. Well, yeah, I'm getting a little bit of help from the motor. So it's still giving me some assistance. Got a little bit of a squeak going on from the brake pads. See, I'm going to stop assisting it. Yeah, I'll assist it again. Yeah, even with a pretty much dead battery. I can still feel a little bit of assistance from the motor. Let it downshift a little bit. Down into third gear. Yeah, it's still motoring me. Ever so slightly. So we're at 255.7. We're at the top of the hill here. We'll let off the throttle and coast. See if any bars come back on the battery. Yep, I got one bar back. Okay. Be back in a bit. Okay, we're down to definitely battery flashing. We're at 256.4 miles. I'm giving it some assistance to get up over this hill here, but it's still helping. The battery and motor is still helping. Amazing. And we're back to a point where I started out, a couple miles from the house. Roll down over this hill here, make a left onto another road off this main road. When I'm not using the throttle going down a hill, I still got one bar there. Yeah, I'm still getting some juice to the motor, ever so slightly. Battery's flashing. I can tell now at this point it doesn't do much to get you up over the hill, over this hill here. I mean, it's helping a bit. You know, I'm in third gear, getting up over this hill, and it is still assisting me to get up over the hill. So can't complain. As heavy as this bike is, and with the weight I'm carrying, it would be pretty difficult getting up over the hill just pedaling. And right now, battery's flashing. I'm not pedaling at this point, and it's still motoring me at about 10, 11 miles an hour. I'm on a flat section here. So pretty good. I'm at 256.7 at this point. So far, it's still holding its own. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a grade here. Yeah, pretty much. You gotta give it a little assistance to get up over this grade. But of course, I've got the battery right down to nothing, pretty much. But it's still going. Still giving me just a little bit of juice there. Okay, at top of the hill. Now we're at a little bit of a downgrade. 10, 11, 12. Going back up a little bit of a grade here. I can still feel the motor kicking in, giving me a little bit of help. That squeaky brake. I guess I Needs to do some adjusting on that. 256.9. 257. I can still feel the motor working, so the battery is still giving me some juice. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I went up over a fairly steep hill there, and I was getting some assistance. We're at 257.5. I've got it at full throttle. I'm at the top of the hill, and it's pushing me about 4 miles an hour. So, that pretty much what I would say. Yeah, there's still a little bit of juice left there. A little bit. But I think I'm going to stop and swap the battery out to get me back home. Pull into the parking lot here. So what did that give me? That gave me, I'm going to say, probably 13 miles of very good battery assistance. The last 2 miles, I was at a point where I had to put a lot more effort into it as far as helping the bike. So not too bad, really, for what you have here. So my calculations were pretty accurate, I think, as far as getting, possibly 15 total of 15 miles out of the battery, and that's actually with a lot of weight on it too. So. Carrying a lot of weight. So I'll be back with you folks in a moment. Okay, got the fresh battery on. Oh yeah, what a difference. Wait for some traffic here. Full throttle, right up to 19.7, 19.8. Pretty much drives you at 20 miles an hour. I'm also going to do a test on the level assist to show you, now that I got a full battery, to show you what it drives you, how fast it drives you in each level. So right now, I've got it in level assist 1. I'm just coming to a coasting right down to as slow as I can get it here. Okay, level assist 1 seems to drive at about 7.5 miles an hour roughly. Yeah, 7.5 would be what my guesstimate would be. Level 2. Level 2 is right around 9.5. So I was incorrect with my first assumption. I thought it was about a 3 mile an hour increment, but it's actually, I think, about a 2. And level 3. Yeah. 11.5. Level 4. Yeah, pretty much I'm seeing, 13.5. I think level 4. Level 4. Level 4 is 13.5. Maybe a little bit faster, about 14. Level 5 is 16.3, 16.5. Level 5, 16, about 16. I can feel it pulsating on and off. Level 6. Level 6 is, let's see here. Level 6 is, let's see, 17.5. Level 7. About 18.5. So I see that it actually steps down about a 1 mile an hour increment. Level 8. I guess is about 19. Level 9. Yeah, that's pretty much full. I can't pedal that fast. Yeah, so. There's no way I could even pedal that fast, even in gear 7. So I'm back to throttle, and I'll catch you back at the house. Okay, so hopefully this test helps out. I'll do some calculating there, and I'll see. Yeah. Oh, but I wanted to cover too the battery. The battery didn't even get warm. I don't feel any heat. Well, maybe a little bit of warmth down at the bottom of the battery. Just a teeny bit of warmth. So it held up pretty good. And yeah, like pretty much I was saying, it calculated probably you could push it 15 miles. But realistically 13.5, maybe 13 and a half miles would be, I would say, a pretty accurate calculation. Like I say, given the fact that I added probably carrying an extra 50 pounds or so of weight to the bike. So if you were just running just the bike alone with nothing on it, no extra weight, you know, that 15 miles probably would be pretty realistic. So not bad for Big Cat and what they've claimed. Of course, I'm sure that it would vary battery to battery. From what I understand too, as you exercise the batteries, the more you use them, the better they get every time. So, anyways, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless, and take care, folks.